Hey ladies, we are talking about a great topic today. It is very, very hot. Everybody's talking about protein, right? So I don't think it's a secret anymore. Protein is the conversation. Now there's even like funny memes about it. Like I've never been so pressured. I think I was, what was it? I feel more pressured to eat more protein than I did to do drugs when I was little, you know, like the don't do drugs and alcohol and blah, blah, blah. But anyways, there's some funny memes out there. Women are trying to get their protein in. They're forcing it in. I want to talk about protein today, though. A protein is, there's mistakes women are making, okay? So when it comes to protein, here are a few common mistakes that I am seeing women make each and every day. And this is, we're going to go into these mistakes. We're going to talk about protein and how much protein you actually need to sustain muscle, and honestly, the role protein plays in your body, it's so much more than you would ever imagine. Then just kind of showing you some of my favorite proteins. So I might even take you out in my kitchen. I'm in my office now. I've been on back-to-back calls and was excited to get on this scheduled live today. So let's hop into it. And if you have questions about protein while we're going through this, please drop them in the chat and I'll be happy to answer them for you. But the 3 protein mistakes that I see women over 40 making. Number 1 is saving it all for later in the day. I cannot tell you how many women I meet and they're not eating, okay? They're skipping breakfast, they're skipping lunch. They're saving it all, right? So you really can't, you don't want to do like, oh, I had 10 grams of protein at breakfast and maybe 15 at lunch and then 50 at dinner, okay? This is not how we want to map it out, okay? So your body doesn't really like that, right? And your body doesn't store protein like it stores carbohydrates. So it needs a steady intake of protein in order to preserve muscle, to regulate blood sugars, to support hormone signaling. This is a big one, okay? I think the muscle is obvious, but regulating blood sugars and supporting hormone signaling, this is really big. And I actually just got off a call with another mom, and she was talking to me about just her cortisol levels being high. I think a lot of this has to do with how we fuel our body and making sure we're getting proper protein. However, what she told me, she's like, well, I had 2 eggs. And I'm like, okay, this is the other thing is you can't just force protein in your body. You have to do it strategically. And I'm going to break that down because that's another problem that I see. Okay. But when you're under eating earlier in the day, it's going to set you up for cravings later in the day. So we really want to spread it out. Okay. So that's the mistake that I see. So what do we do about it? We want to get around 30 grams of protein at breakfast. We want to get about 30 grams of protein at lunch and 30 grams of protein at dinner. Plus, I'm going to recommend getting anywhere between 15 to 30 grams of protein with at least 2 snacks a day, okay? So when we do that, our body is able to use that protein, right? So again, it doesn't store like carbs. Your muscle needs it. Your blood sugars need it. Your hormones need it, right? So this is a big one. Okay, mistake number 2. Okay, the recommended dietary allowance is not enough. So when I was preparing for this live today, I was like, what even is the recommended dietary allowance? Like I used to study this stuff back in, 20 years ago when I was in dietetics school at Iowa State. And there's recommended daily dietary allowances for certain macronutrients and vitamins, minerals, micronutrients, things like that. You guys, this is crazy. So the recommended amount is 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. So just to give you an example of what this recommended dietary allowance is per day, for a 150-pound woman, that's 54 grams of protein a day. For an 80-pound woman, it's 65 grams. For a 200-pound woman, it's 72 grams. Can you see the problem here? Okay, this recommended daily allowance is the minimum to not be deficient, and this is not enough. It's not enough for strength. It's not enough for fat loss. It's not enough for muscle preservation. And this is the thing. That's just for an active woman. A woman in perimenopause and menopause needs even more. Okay, so I will give it to the recommended dietary allowance daily when we factor in if you're in perimenopause and menopause, everything goes up about 30 grams. Okay, so a 150-pound woman, they're saying anywhere between 80 to 110. An 80-pound woman, 100 to 135. A 200-pound woman, 110 to 150. I've taken all of this, oh my gosh, like I don't want to calculate everything, and made it really simple in the VIP weight loss system by just really thinking, okay, what is, the average woman ideal body weight, and let's base it on that. And so really this lands around 130 grams of protein a day. Okay, so ladies, if you can get around 130 grams of protein a day, you're going to be feeling really good. However, something I want to really talk about is how we get that. Okay, it's not just eat your protein, I hit my protein needs. I have so many women that came to me. I can think of, Jill and Shayna specifically, they both were hitting their protein goals, but they still felt like crap. Okay, so just because you're hitting your protein goals doesn't mean you're going to feel good. Okay, it has to be strategic. And as you girls know, it's very much a part of muscle preservation, and I see our personal trainer on today. So this is a big topic for her. Shout out to Coach Christy. She's our head of VIP Fit. So she knows that this is really important, but we are all about helping women build muscle, right? We're helping you build muscle, get rid of the fat, because muscle is going to protect your metabolism as you age, okay? Mistake number 3. So a lot of people think that protein is just about weight. Okay, so I know that I have the VIP weight loss system, but I want to talk to you about the other impacts of protein. So protein is not just about weight. Protein is about dopamine activation. Okay, so protein, when you eat good forms of protein, it's a precursor for dopamine. Okay, so if any of you have ADHD, adult onset ADHD, anxiety, focus, it's hard for you to focus, this is huge. Okay, so setting yourself up in the morning with a really good source of protein, whole source of protein, is going to be huge for for setting up your dopamine receptors for the day. Okay, you're going to feel so much better. It also, protein impacts serotonin, your mood, okay? Who wants to feel more balanced, okay? It focuses. Protein impacts cortisol response. This one's huge, okay? I cannot tell you how many women come to me with either super high cortisol or their cortisol has tanked because they've lived in adrenal fatigue for so long and they're so burnt out. This is a part of making sure that we help your body feel safe and regulate cortisol. Isn't this cool? Like protein is about so much more than weight loss and muscle building. It's about so much more. This is a big one too. And I just was talking to a client named Jessica about blood sugar stability. She's wearing a continuous glucose monitor and she's like, I can't believe it, Kim. She's like, every 3 to 4 hours, she's like, I actually get kind of shaky. And I'm like, yeah, girl, like you need to eat like every 3 to 4 hours. And when you eat every 3 to 4 hours, you want to have some protein with some carbs and some veggies or antioxidants or some form of fiber. That's going to make you feel so satisfied. Okay. So let me ask you this. Does anyone experience a 3 p.m. crash? How about nighttime snacking? How about irritability? How about consistent fatigue? Okay. If you experience any of those things I just talked about, you more than likely are not getting enough protein. Okay. a lot of women come into VIP and they're getting probably around 60 grams of protein a day. Okay. So this is where structure matters. All right. So kind of have some of my notes here. The other thing that it does is it helps with hormones. So let me get into that because I think that part is really, really cool. So just a reminder, if you're 40 plus, your body needs, I believe, around 130 grams of protein. Okay. Especially if you're in perimenopause or menopause, because you're losing estrogen, you're losing muscle, and you might be losing sleep. So here's why that matters, okay? When estrogen drops, okay, and this is just part of our anatomy as women, in perimenopause, it's very erratic, okay? But eventually then once you hit menopause, boom, you have a drop, okay? When estrogen drops, muscle loss accelerates. And Christy might have some of these facts. But I know when I've done my studying, it's like each year, a woman, once we hit the age, I can't exactly remember what age it is, but it's like probably, I think it's like 38 or something. It's like when we hit that, we, every year, it's just inevitable that the percentage of body mass, muscle decreases. So not only do we have to work to keep it, we have to work to build it. Okay, because muscle is the engine of the metabolism. Less muscle equals slower metabolism. Then we have estrogen that it's protecting your bones. Okay, so estrogen protects bones. Okay, and when it drops, bone density drops. But get this, protein plus vitamin D plus calcium plus strength training, that's what protects your bones. So I had a lady reach out. She's in her 70s and we worked together. And one of her biggest concerns with everything that we did was to protect her bones. But it's not just calcium. It's not just vitamin D. It's protein plus vitamin D plus calcium plus strength training. Okay. So protein gives us amino acids. Okay. So think about, a complete protein, it's built up of amino acids. Okay. I always think of Jenga, right? And when you have a complete protein, it helps make neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. Okay. So like sometimes on the days that I feel like I have to be laser focused, like I have a ton going on, I will eat a lean steak for breakfast. Like I will just have a little bit of lean steak for breakfast with like some blueberries and maybe some yogurt, because it just helps me with my mood. It helps me stay really focused, but it also helps with motivation, cravings, and decision making. So I think that's really fascinating. I run a business. You're here, you're on. We currently have about 375 active women in the VIP weight loss system. And we're launching some really cool things. And so I have to be very sharp. And I'm sure a lot of you feel like you have to be very sharp and on your game. This is huge. Protein is huge for concentration. Okay. Protein stabilizes blood sugar. So stabilizing blood sugar, you're going to have less cravings, right? You're going to have better energy. You're going to have less belly fat. You're going to sleep better, and you're going to have a calmer brain. Okay. So when you get proper protein throughout your day, it stabilizes your blood sugar, which allows for all of those other things to happen, okay? Less belly fat. How many of you feel like you're gaining weight in your stomach area and it's kind of come out of nowhere, okay? This can happen, all right? So this is big as to why protein matters. Protein protects the brain, all right? Women make up 2/3 of Alzheimer's cases, largely due to estrogen decline, okay? Protein supports the neurotransmitters and brain aging. How cool is that, right? So we take protein with all these electrolytes and lemon and all the things that we teach our clients for brain fog, and bam, like our clients just feel amazing, right? But what they don't realize is they're losing weight and they're feeling better, but they're preventing disease, right? They're preventing disease, which is cool. So in my opinion, protein is not just a macronutrient. It is a perimenopause and a menopause strategy. So hear that. It is a strategy. But here's where women get stuck, okay? You can eat more protein and not lose weight. All right, I just was talking to, on my Facebook page today, I have a little video, I'm interviewing Jill, and she was talking about that. She's like, I came into VIP and I was eating protein, but I found out that I wasn't eating the right kinds of protein, or I wasn't pairing them appropriately, or I wasn't eating them at the right time. And when she understood how to eat protein, what to eat for protein, how to pair protein together, the tables turned for her, right? So that's really good. But here's where women get stuck. Protein without strength training, gut health, healthy estrogen balance, insulin sensitivity, good sleep, stable cortisol doesn't create fat loss. It creates survival mode. Okay? So my mission for these last several years, especially when we launched the VIP weight loss system back in 2023, was to be able to put all this together for women because it's so overwhelming and confusing. I just got off a call with a gal named Jessica, and she goes, if somebody could just show me how to put this all together, if somebody could just show me how to get my cortisol levels down and how to regulate my blood glucose levels and how to get all my protein in, and I can't eat dairy. Like, if somebody could just show me how to put this all together, I would do it. And I was like, well, let's go, girl. Like, we got you. That's what we do every day, right? But the lady I was talking to before, Jessica, Nancy, she's not sleeping well, right? So like she's losing weight, she's doing the VIP weight loss system, but she's not sleeping well. And she just has a little bit left to go, but her body's holding. And I'm like, oh girl, we got to fix your sleep so that when you're optimizing all of this food and nutrition, it's actually working with you, right? It's actually working with you versus against you. All right. So I hope this is being helpful. Okay. So let's go through a few pillars. Okay. I'm going to call this like my protein protocol. Okay. I like the sound of that. So let's kind of go through a protein protocol. All right. And I have 6 pillars here. All right. Number 1 is the protein dose. Okay. If you will, the protein dose. So getting enough grams of protein per day, per meal. Okay. I broke it down earlier. I would recommend 30 grams per meal, 15 to 30 grams per snack. I would eat, if I were you, I would eat every 3 to 4 hours. I just had one of my, before I did this, because I'm going to have lunch here soon, I had one of these like little Chobani protein drinks because I've been on back-to-back meetings, but typically I would have it with some fruit as well. I can kind of walk you through what I eat in a day, but I'll go through the rest of these pillars. So pillar number 1 is the protein dose. Pillar number 2 is the protein timing, which I actually covered, okay? You really, really want to front load on the beginning of your day, okay? I was on a call with Nancy. We were going through her plan. I went through like what I call a 24-hour recall. It's like, Nancy, tell me about your day. What time do you wake up? What do you eat? What do you do? And what I found is that she was having yogurt and fruit for breakfast. And I was like, well, Nancy, that's not enough protein, okay? So you're getting about 15 grams. Like, we need to get you up to 30. Right? So we added a little Catalina Crunch, we added a tablespoon of chia seed, and then she's going to be putting a little protein and some collagen peptides in her coffee. Okay? So front load earlier in the day stabilizes blood sugars and cortisol. Lower cortisol by eating a very good breakfast. Okay? You do not want to skip carbs, girls. Okay? Then pillar number 3 is protein pairing. Okay? We're kind of leading, each one's kind of leading into the next. Protein plus, I'm going to say like fiber as your fruit, okay, or your vegetable. But you need to pair your protein with something, okay? I don't recommend just going and grabbing beef sticks. Like, pair your beef stick with some blueberries. Pair your turkey with some cucumbers. Like, pair your dried roasted edamame with an apple. Pair these things, okay? A little bit of fat is fine, like something like dried roasted edamame if you're dairy free, because I know a lot of people watch this and they're like, give me some dairy free options. I love the dried roasted edamame at Costco right now. It's so good. I will pair that with an apple. That is awesome, okay? Because when we pair, it supports your hormones and metabolic control, okay? Number 4, protein plus muscle signaling, okay? Strength training tells the body what to do with the protein you're eating. Cool. All those amino acids, okay, they break down. Okay, I always think of like a Jenga tower. When it's put together, it's a complete protein, and then it gets in your body and it breaks apart and it goes to where it's needed. So some might go to the brain, some might go to the hormone regulators, some might go to the gut, some might go to the muscle, right? But strength training is super cool because it tells your body what to do with the muscle. And Coach Christy could probably go into this more because that's her jam. I am not a specialist in strength training. I do strength training, but I am not a specialist. That's why we have experts in our program. So like I'm a registered and licensed dietitian. I'm trained in medical nutrition therapy. I'm trained in, the nutrition counseling, like the mindset and all of that. But we hire the best of the best to work inside VIP. So you get kick-ass results with elite expert coaching and experts. We have OBGYN, we have, medical directors, doctors, NPs, personal trainers, dietitians. We got the whole shebang. Okay. Pillar number 5, protein plus hormones. This is awesome. Estrogen, cortisol, and insulin all change how protein is used. Okay? It's very important to know that proper protein very, very, very much influences specifically estrogen, cortisol, and insulin. Those are all hormones, okay? This is big. That's why so many people, when they do the VIP weight loss system, they're like, oh my gosh, like, I actually don't think I need to get my hormones tested. I feel amazing. I'm like, okay, girl, we'll rock it as long as you can. And then if something changes, like we'll do some HRT, So that is very important to know. Okay, pillar number 6, protein and recovery. Again, this is going to be more Coach Christy's jam, but muscle doesn't grow when we eat. It grows when we sleep, okay? We need the fuel. We need the proper nutrients. We need the amino acids. We need the proper protein. But if we push, we're not going to see results. We need to rest. We need to recover. We need sleep. Okay? So even though you're eating all the protein and even though you're doing all the strength training, if you don't have the right plan and if you don't have the right rest and you don't have the right fueling times, it's not going to work. The strategy is everything. And that's what we specialize in, honestly. We put all of this together so that you as the woman understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how you're doing it. But everything is given to you in a way that you get to execute so that you don't have to feel stuck anymore. Okay? So after that, I think that's about it. Let me just show you some of the, let's just go out to my kitchen. Should we go out to my kitchen? I don't know what it looks like out there, guys. Okay, so let's go out to my kitchen. But I'm going to tell you what I eat in a day typically, okay? So typically in a day, I will start my morning with some lemon water and electrolytes. I will go for a walk to regulate my cortisol levels. And then I will have a VIP smoothie. Okay, so I want to try and get 30 grams of protein in my body within the first hour of waking. Okay, then like I just had one of those smoothies, but then I have here, I'll show you my fridge. Well, I don't know if I can. Yes, I can. Here we go. This is one of the fridges. Okay, so we've got, okay, let's just find some. Okay, so we have some taco meat up here. We have some rotisserie chicken. We've got some egg whites. Oh, this is fun. I wasn't even planning on doing this. Okay, this is the real deal, guys. We got some chicken we're going to grill out tonight, okay? Those are chicken meatballs. These are great. Some beef sticks. Okay, we had these in the car when we were traveling for baseball this weekend. Raspberries. Oh, this is some really yummy turkey. I've got some more lunch meat turkey right here, some Greek yogurt. So this is all like, those are all protein choices. Some of this stuff, I have kids, so they love these little Gouda squares, but you can see I've got like kiwis, I've got fruit, I've got watermelon. So again, you're going to pair any of these proteins, you're going to pair with like a fruit or a veggie. What's in here? We got some wraps. This is more just fruits and veggies. More fruits and veggies down here. Okay. So, I think it's just really, oh, this is what I'm having for lunch today. So this is egg roll in a bowl. You can't really see in there. Those ones are Nick's. These ones are mine. But this is egg roll in a bowl. I'll come out here and warm that up. Okay. So I just want to show you just some protein options, what we do, but then just how to put it together. So smoothie for breakfast. I did a chobani for a morning snack. I'll have my egg roll in a bowl for lunch. This afternoon, I've really been loving a Greek yogurt with some PB2 powder and some apples. Might do a Bearbell bar, and then we're grilling out the chicken tonight. So all just really fun, easy ideas. So ladies, here's just your tips about protein. The thing I want you to know is that it's so much more than just eating protein. Number one, you're probably not getting enough. Number two, it's how you strategically eat it and what you have. And number three, just knowing that it's about so much more than just muscle building and weight loss. So if you are wondering, gosh, how do I put this all together, Kim? It's so overwhelming. How do I balance cortisol and blood glucose and weight loss and meal planning and snacks, and then somebody hold me accountable, right? I was just talking to Jessica and she's like, I mean, I know what I can do, but like, I just need somebody to like keep me accountable. I'm like, yeah, girl, that's what we do. So if you would like some more information on the VIP weight loss system, how we can put this together for you, just comment protein below and I will personally reach out to you. Have an awesome day.